7,000 students from various universities. They considered the lack of practical training during the studies to be the biggest problem. Quantity is still more important than quality.
Although our students gain a very good theoretical background at the university, unfortunately they are not proactive or be able to work independently, and they also have no experience with the real work environment. Therefore, we have been trying for a longer period of time to introduce a compulsory practical training of students already during their studies. Together with the Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, we are implementing a modular curriculum into bachelor studies. This includes several blocks of practical trainings and also a compulsory continuous practical training, which takes 2 semesters to complete. The whole study will last 4 years.
Students themselves perceive a lack of exposure to practice. They are customers of this public education system, and as customers are likely to apply pressure. So if they apply pressure on universities are more keen to work with the companies. Companies are obviously more ready to provide such practical stays, and I think the legislation can follow.
In automotive industry, we have a shortage of university-educated people who are able to work on projects, to manage them and lead to successful outcome. That was a reason why we developed a new profile of graduate from technical college, which includes a minimum 3 months practical training in a company. However, the problem is that not all universities are willing to include this training to their study programs. It always requires that there is permission for willing students to undergo this training during their studies and to be granted credits. Experience has shown that it's essential for students to have this training lasting for at least a semester to work in the industry.
We've reached the conclusion that there is a gap between the theoretical knowledge provided by academical institutions and the actual needs of the labor market. So this is why we decided to actively get involved in this kind of projects that would help bridge these 2 main areas of expertise that are necessary in every field.
Based on the analysis that I made and on the feedback that I got from the stakeholders in general, this was possible also due to the crisis that is in place since 2008. This crisis has at least a plus, and the plus comes from the fact that these 2 partners had to come together. For companies, it becomes easier if they come close to universities because they reduce costs in order to make out of a graduate a good employee. They were telling us that it takes 3 years to make a good employee out of a university graduate. If they are coming close to the universities and make a partnership and help us during the study programs, this time frame is reduced and their costs go down. On the other way, on the other hand, for universities is a benefit because we start to understand that we are not somewhere up in the sky and we don't have to look what's going on the labor market. We have to adapt our programs, our curricula, the knowledge that we transfer, the skills that we develop in our graduates to adapt them to what the market needs.
Practice shows that without practical compulsory training in companies are changes impossible.
Cooperation with the company Volkswagen Slovakia showed that praxis during studies is mutually possible and beneficial.
Introduction of new professional bachelor study programs could be an alternative to an existing system of higher education, but it depends on the change of the respective legal framework.
The Ministry has taken steps to enable the provision of professionally oriented bachelor study programs and is prepared to analyze additional legislative changes if needed. We consider as crucial the efficient cooperation of higher education institutions with their partners from businesses who will provide the practical element of these programs.
Duale Hochschule Baden-Württemberg was the first German university to fully integrate theoretical and practical training, allowing students to gain practical experience during their studies. The initiative for founding the dual study program came from the corporate sector. 3 companies, namely Daimler-Benz, Robert Bosch, and SEL, Standard Electric Lawrence, were the initiating companies asking for an educational model that integrates practical training with academic training. That was the crucial point. The starting point was that it started as a Berufsakademie system, as we call it, back in 1974. So the university is now looking back at more than 40 years of experience. The legislation changed then in 2009 when the federal law was changed and the federal state of Baden-Württemberg was able to integrate its system of Berufsakademie into the university legislation. Since then, since 2009, the institution is called Duale Hochschule Baden-Württemberg. Where initially we offered only bachelor programs, a 3-year bachelor program that is, as I said, the fully integrated study approach that students spend 3 months at the university and 3 months in the company practical training. The next semester then again 3 months of academic studying combined with 3 months of working in the companies, alternating this in all 6 semesters, leading to the bachelor degree. With the move up into the university level in 2009, since then we are also offering master programs that are part-time master programs and are also pursuing this dual approach, academic training and working at companies. So this decentralized structure allows to be close to the companies. The university works together with 9,000 corporate partners and social institutions, not only from the federal state of Baden-Württemberg, but also from other federal states within Germany. In initiating a new dual study program, the initiative can be from the university as well from the corporate sector. The most important aspect in designing a dual study program is the close relationship and the commitment, I would say, of the corporate sector to work with the university to educate the students so that this program can be successful. A program can never work without the sufficient support from the corporate sector, because they are the essential part for the practical experience.
So I'm coming from University Lucian Blaga of Sibiu. It's located in a small city in the middle of Romania, and we have the chance to be a multidisciplinary university. So in this context, we succeeded to develop a strategy that is under the logo of sustainability and excellence for community. And we were very lucky to be able to develop a lot of partnerships with employers. Just to give two examples, Continental and Keep Calling, that came close to us in order to jointly develop internships for students, or even study programs, joint study programs for our students. The feedback was in such a way that employers were telling us that graduates usually lack soft skills and even what we call an entrepreneurial mindset, because being in this region that was under communism for so many decades, this entrepreneurship mindset is lacking, not only for the adults but also for the young generation. And this should also be trained or stimulated during the school years. In this context, we decided several years ago to develop a program which is a non-formal one. It's addressed to all our students regardless their major or their specialization. And it's an extracurricular program. What it means that the students that have an interest in entrepreneurship, either they want to become entrepreneurs or just they want to understand how a business is functioning and develop some soft skills in order to become intrapreneurs or better employees, they can enter in this non-formal program and participate in workshops and idea jams and business plan competitions, where they will work mostly with entrepreneurs, local entrepreneurs, national entrepreneurs. And I'm more than satisfied to see that especially young entrepreneurs from the IT sector are willing to come and work with our students in order to help them understand how you go from an opportunity to a business idea, and to help them develop a business plan and understand how markets function, because they understand that in order to develop the marketplace to a more competitive one, they need to come close to universities and help us work with the students. Now, the good news was that once we started the program 1 year ago, and this is like the second year in this academic year, the government came also with a regulation to support us. And the regulation came this February, where the Ministry of Education is asking all universities to create such entrepreneurial ecosystem. And in fact, the regulation was designed exactly how we were thinking our extracurricular activities for entrepreneurship.
A couple of years ago, we at Keep Calling reached the conclusion that there is a professional field that we have expertise in, but there are no academical programs for it, and that is the marketing field. So we consider it very important because it is one of the fields that enables you to have an impact across nations, no matter of your physical location. So what we did is to decide to do something about it by recreating a bachelor's study program in marketing at the local university from Sibiu, Lucian Blaga. Relaunching the marketing program meant not only a financial investment to cover all the fees for the students, but also a mentoring and knowledge transfer system based on a solid collaboration between our marketing experts and the professors responsible of the field inside the university. So we are now starting the third year of collaboration on this program, and soon we will be celebrating the first generation of graduate marketeers. Of course, every business has a more pragmatic approach, and we decided that we are not going to focus on changing good legislation for this partnership because it would probably take years. So we decided to focus on what we can do and how to do it within the current legislation.
We are having a strategic partnership with the University of Lucian Blaga, and based on this partnership we developed parallel curricula, meaning that we introduced some courses in the university, courses on, for example, embedded systems, or some courses related to mechanical design that students are free to sign up for. Of course, if we are discussing about modifying the mandatory curricula, that is something that needs to be totally aligned on a national level with the Ministry of Education.
In Hungary, we started dual education on the national level basically 3 years ago when the Dual Training Council was formed. It was actually formed by a very high level, and that's also part of the best practice that the Prime Minister appointed the members and the President of the Dual Training Council in Hungary. We started accrediting companies who wanted to take on university students for 3.5 years. So here in Hungary, if you have a dual degree, as we call it, it's also a special type of degree which is recognized by the government. So it's actually written in your diploma that you've done a dual degree. Then every employer and every university know exactly what that means. So we basically where the legislation was changed is only about the dual studies. So it came as an extra to the Hungarian higher educational system. So we still have the Bologna process, and we haven't changed any of that. Many students don't consider dual education as an option because they think it's just too much work, and firstly they want to be a university student, and then after that they finish university, they'll think about working. So I think we have to change that perception. It's giving information to companies, giving information to the public, to parents, to students on what dual education is about, and why it can be beneficial for a company, a university student, or whoever. Dual students have also better grades at the university because they have a deeper understanding of what they learned at the university.
From 2012, we introduced the dual type training in Kecskemét in Hungary. We were the first university. At the time, our institution was the Kecskemét College, and now we have John Tolnaima University name. The problem was that there were lack of well-educated students, so that's why we had to make a solution and made our education better. So that means we didn't change our curriculum at all, just we changed the contents of the subject, and we fitted this to the needs of the industry. We have now, I think, more than 60 companies who joined to this. I mean, it's really important that the connection between university and industry only works if we maintain personal contact with our partners' company and develop this system together. So not alone the university or not alone the industry, for example. There are some risks and problems, of course, from the company side. So, for example, there aren't sufficient acknowledgement, and the mentors don't have pedagogical skills. So that's why they don't know how to work with or educate the students. So, for example, we would like to make training for trainers. So these are the education processes for the mentors in the company.
Okay, so T-System Slovakia is actually one of the leading companies in the dual philosophy. Okay, we are more active at the moment in the secondary, on the secondary level, where we provide a higher vocational education and training in a dual form. However, this is not enough, because annually we need approximately 500 to 600 new people, new entrants to our jobs and our positions. I think the important thing is that dual system needs a commitment of a company and school or university. So one of the really key projects or key topics is so-called live IT projects, where we created a platform together with other companies in the region, because we speak here about 200 students approximately. So we need to give it a platform where students can actually engage with the company, with the actual experts and specialists from the company on a software project. So students act as the software providers, software developers, designers, etc. We are in a position of customers and product owners. So we make our demands, and the students have a task to spend 3 months in a very agile, very rapid prototyping way, come with a software solution that would address our needs. It takes effort, but I believe it's worthwhile.
Let's do it.
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 Let's do it.